at 2:55. Thank you guys once again for coming out. You got a great show. I'm going to bring the comics up. So whenever I bring a comic up, I want you just to channel all the energy you have. We're going to blow the roof off of this place. So, are you guys ready for your next comic? Come to the stage. Yes. This gentleman will actually be emceeing here next week. Keep those applause going for Michael Friedman.
Thanks, guys. Keep going for Scott. This is so exciting. Like, look at you guys sitting so close, no masks. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Some of you, it might be the last thing you do, but we're here having a good time. That was kind of an evil laugh, too. Someone at that table is dying tonight. Guys, so it's now 2022, and it seems like everybody, including the homeless, have a cell phone and social media, right? But I don't understand why now I walk through my neighborhood and I gotta see and hear about every cause that all my neighbors are supporting by plastic lawn signs on their lawns, right? Have you guys seen all these? There's all important causes, don't get me wrong, right? But there's like every cause that you can imagine, there's a sign for, well, except for possibly the environment. Right? And some of them don't seem to make any sense. Like there's one there's one that says, every child matters. That is true, that's a bold statement, right? But then some people take that a little bit further, right? And they add this little intro that gives themselves a little pat on the back. In this house, we believe every child matters. Why do you need the introduction? Is that like, because when you leave the house, you're like, fuck, am I going to run them down with a car? So I thought I'd go in for a closer look, to see if maybe there's some fine print there. Sure enough, there was, right? In this house, we believe that every child matters. Not like our fucking neighbors. Dogs always shitting on our lawn. I think they might be pedophiles. Then made me think like they're pedophiles. They probably do think every child matters. Then, so there was notice that these people, they got it right. They had a sign, they just listed everything on one sign. Right? I said, in this house, we believe every child matters. Black lives matters. Women's rights are human rights. Trans rights matter. Masks save lives. Love is love. And I read that and I was like, wow, these people really value a lot of things, with the exception of my time. And then another house down the street, they had like every sign on their lawn, right? They had the Black Lives Matter, they had a pride flag, a Ukrainian flag, Stop Asian Hate, all these signs. And then I realized like, wow, this is pretty amazing. These people obviously don't care about Indigenous kids. They were missing that sign. And then last spring, we had the election. Remember that? There's even more signs. I got so confused I voted for Ukraine. I'd like to think that, I'm partly responsible for the advancements they're making these days. But everybody's telling us what they support and believe in, but some people are taking these causes a little bit too far. And I don't know if you remember, it was about a year ago, Demi Lovato came out. This is a true thing that this grown-up person said. She said, it is offensive to call beings from other planets aliens. Who said that? And I have to tell you, I think with 100% certainty, I can say, well, we don't really care. But what's going to be next? As Demi Lovato led protests outside of 20th Century Fox, Change the name of the Alien franchise. It's offensive. And then what's going to be next? There's going to be a bunch of pedophiles outside. Change the name of the movie Predator. That's offensive to us. You guys really like the pedophile bits. So we got coming out in the spring of 2024, matriarchal, mega head-sized, pod-producing extraterrestrial beings versus predators, because fuck those guys, we're not changing that part. So you ever have like one of those aha light bulb moments, you know, where something just clicks and you're like, oh yeah. I had one of those the other day. Like I was sitting on the toilet reading a library book, and I just realized I'm probably not the first person to be doing that with this book. Quickly ended my habit of licking my finger to turn the page. Look at the look on this young guy's face here. He's like, oh, what the fuck is a library book? They're magical things, my friend. I did a lot of reading over the pandemic. One thing that I really geek out over dogs and wolves and like evolution, and it's pretty amazing. Like the first signs of dogs in our history, like associated with humans, is like 15,000 years ago. Yet we didn't develop as a society into like towns and villages until about 10,000 years ago. So that means we had dogs before we had neighbors whose lawns that they shit on and they put up stupid signs. But dogs, evolved from wolves, and it took like about 40 million years to end up with the wolf that we have today. And there was all kinds of different environmental pressures. They lived through 4 different ice ages. And they evolved into like apex predators where they can take down prey like 10 times their size. And in 15,000 years, we turned that into a pug who gets exhausted going up half a flight of stairs. So I could just imagine, like the ghost of Charles Darwin or God or whichever one you believe exists more, coming down and grabbing someone from the kennel club, and shoving their face in a pug's ass, going, "Did you do that? Bad!" But it made me wonder, like, what might wolves think, if they came across, a lineup of dogs? What would they, like, the first one would be like a Rhodesian Ridgeback, right? And the wolf's like, "Hey, I'm a wolf. Me and my pack, we can take down, we hunt, go for hours until it gets exhausted and we take it down. What can you do?" The Ridgeback's like, "I hunt lions." And the wolf's like, "Okay, that's badass." Maybe it's like shake a paw, they don't have fists. And then at the end of the line, we have the hairless Chihuahua. And the wolf's like, "Hey, I'm a wolf. If I huff and puff, I can blow 2 out of 3 houses down." Only a few of you remember your childhood. What can you do? And the Chihuahua's like, "Well, after hundreds of years of selective inbreeding, I'm riddled with anxiety. But I look good in a sweater, and I fit in the purse." And then the wolf just grabs a pillow and is like, "Shh." You guys have been a lot of fun. Thank you. I like to do this.
How's your memory, 25? How's your memory? How are you with names, 25? Me either. My neighbor was moving in about 8 months ago, and they introduced themselves to me, and this is what happened.